and thank you for joining me today. My name is Kristen Carter, and I'm an account supervisor at Sunwest Communications. I am excited to introduce a very special guest to share a bit about her experience navigating a COVID-19 world in the nonprofit landscape. So here online with me is Julie Heckman. She is the Assistant Director of Development at the Center for BrainHealth, which is part of the University of Texas at Dallas, leading scientific research to enhance, protect, and restore the brain. But most importantly, she's my sister. Say hi, Julie.
Hi, Kristen. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to get to chat with you, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
It's for sure going to be fun. And I have to tell our viewers that we've been on FaceTime several times throughout quarantine, and I can assure you all that this is the nicest we have ever looked on camera together over the past couple of months. But we'll save those stories for another time, and instead we'll get right into the conversation. Okay, so Julie, let's start with the big picture. So from a general standpoint, how has the pandemic affected the Center for Brain Health's research and programs?
Sure. So the Center for Brain Health's team, from our researchers and clinicians to our administrative and support staff, are still very much firing on all cylinders, but we're doing so remotely for the time being, like many organizations. That being said, we have recognized that there is more of a need than ever for our work, because during this time of stress and uncertainty, people need to be thinking about their brain health and be able to rely on their brain's ability to adapt and be resilient. And that is ultimately what our work at the Center for Brain Health is all about.
So while you aren't on the front lines of the fight, your work is highly relevant to the effects of this pandemic as people feel isolated and distraught. I personally think you all have done a great job adjusting your external communications to address and support people during this time. So can you share a little bit more about what Brain Health is doing in this regard?
Absolutely, and thank you for saying that. We have a unique area of expertise that we know is certainly relevant right now. And for the past 20 years, we have been studying the brain and the brain and health and focusing on leveraging and harnessing the brain's potential. A lot of other organizations are focused more on a deficit approach, looking at the brain and injury or disease, understanding that, treating and curing those impairments, but we are focused on a strengths-based approach, which means we look at how people of all ages in all circumstances can increase and extend their brain health and performance. And that all comes down to the ways that each of us use our brain every day, or in some cases, not use our brain power well. We also know that most people don't think about their brain health or performance until or unless something goes wrong. But now suddenly, in the current circumstances we're in, people are thinking about their brain health as they should be. So we knew this was the perfect time to share our expertise with the world. And so we've been doing that through timely topical expert posts and videos and editorial media. For the past 9 weeks, we have sent out a weekly e-blast called A Message About Brain Health from our founder and chief director, Dr. Sandy Chapman. So during these uncertain times caused by the coronavirus, Dr. Chapman's able to share her science-based insights to help all of us know what we need to be doing to tend to our brain health and performance. And the topics of those emails have included things like resiliency, socially connecting while physically distancing, compassion, and sleep. Our subject matter experts have also put together a series of short videos that provide tips on reasoning and resilience to help your brain performance. And we're calling that our Brain Health Boost series. And topics of those videos have ranged from multitasking, innovation, mindfulness, reframing your perspective with gratitude, and lifestyle factors that boost brain health. And Dr. Chapman just last week authored an article in the opinion section of the Dallas Morning News that offered great news about the brain's adaptability. So focused on research showing that we can strengthen our mental flexibility and become more resilient. And she also shared practical tips that can boost brain health during this time of stress and uncertainty and isolation. So all of these messages about brain health, these brain health boost videos, and all the other content we're sharing can be found on our website, which is centerforbrainhealth.org, and also our social media channels. So we hope that you'll find them and utilize them and share them.
That's so great. And just to reiterate, I think it's been so helpful. I've certainly enjoyed the reminders because this is such a strange experience overall for all of us. And it's so important that we all stay brain healthy during these times. So thank you for that. So to that same point about you all not being on the front lines, but having work that's highly relevant to this, how has this affected how you communicate with your donors?
Over the past 2 months, we have been individually calling on our individual and foundation and corporate donors just to check in and first and foremost make sure that that they're all safe and well, and then also to confirm that they're receiving all the great content that we're putting out. And so far the response to that has been very favorable, and so we plan to continue to do that for the duration of social distancing.
So how have you approached fundraising during this time?
We have pivoted to heavily focus on donor stewardship right now. So sharing the email blasts and the Brain Health Boost videos that I previously mentioned, as well as updates on our research and programs to those supporters who have helped make it possible. At this time, we are not making major asks of individual donors, but we are preparing our strategy to do so when the time is right. And of course, we continue to be so appreciative of the unsolicited gifts that we do continue to receive at all levels. We are expanding our foundation pipeline to be able to submit more grant applications. And we also know that corporate philanthropic giving is likely to be challenging in the near term for many organizations. So our corporate friends have found these Brain Health Boost videos to be especially helpful to share with their employees. So we're continuing to share that content and nurture those relationships. And we know that when we emerge from the current situation, we know our relationships will be even stronger, and we'll be able to continue our efforts to find transformational philanthropic partners to fund our important work. And just to come back to your earlier comment about front lines, I want to also mention that even though we aren't on the front lines ourselves, we do work extensively with those who are. And we participated in the recent North Texas Giving Tuesday Now that Communities Foundation of Texas hosted, a special giving day where we raised funds for a resilience program we're offering for those on the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis, including medical personnel and other first responders. And we were just blown away by the generous response from our donors, even in the midst of these uncertain times.
That's great news to hear. It was a successful day, and it's just been so neat to see the community come together and pitch in to help in whatever ways, just like you said, with you guys offering the resiliency program for these people who are on the front lines. It's very inspiring.
Thank you.
So what has been your approach with events? Have you canceled, postponed, gone virtual, and why? And also, if you could talk a little bit about what the response to that has been, I'd love to hear from you.
We've chosen to take a hybrid approach for our events. We've had to cancel some. We have chosen to postpone some until the fall or next spring, particularly those that involve bringing a speaker to Dallas. And we've also moved some of our events virtual. In fact, we held our advisory board meeting last month virtually, and we actually had just as many board members attend the virtual meeting as we normally have in person, which was a very pleasant surprise. And we're also offering virtual speaking engagements and have had a great response to those so far. Actually, just yesterday, Dr. Chapman had a virtual speaking engagement via the Aspen Brain Institute, and it was very well attended and very well received.
Well, I'm glad to hear that despite the circumstances, things have still gone very well for you guys. That's great. Looking ahead, is there anything you'd like to share about the role the Center for Brain Health will play in helping people strengthen their brain's health and performance?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I would say to be sure to check out all the content I've mentioned, the weekly brain tip emails, the Brain Health Boost videos, and all the content that's all available at centerforbrainhealth.org. And the second thing that we're very excited that is coming soon is called the Brain Health Project. This is a massive long-term initiative that builds on the 20 years of research and our translational offerings, and we are currently in the pilot testing phase for this project. It is very timely because it's an all online platform where participants can go and get a comprehensive measure of their own brain health and performance called the BrainHealth Index. And then participants have the opportunity to meet with a virtual brain health coach to set their own personal brain health goals. And then they have access to online training modules, activities, and lots more content to be able to boost those brain healthy habits. Then they take another brain health index and they'll be able to see how their brain is changing over time, hopefully for the better. So lots more to come on that, but to read more about the Brain Health Project and figure out how to get involved, just visit thebrainhealthproject.org.
Well, I know I don't have to tell you how just awesome I think everything you guys are doing is. So I'm so glad to see that everything is still going smoothly and you guys are able to continue amazing research and programs just like the Brain Health Project, despite this pandemic.
Thank you.
Exciting updates all around. Thank you so much, Julie. I'm sure I can speak for the rest of the team at Sunwest when I say that we sincerely appreciate your time and insights. And I'm certainly glad that I get to call you my brilliant big sister.
Thank you, Kristen, for having me. And on behalf of the entire Brain Health team, we appreciate getting to chat. And thank you to you and everyone else at Sunwest.
Absolutely. This was fun. Thanks to everybody for watching.